dust from working down into the tool holding assembly. And once we put the tool in there and disengage the lock, it'll shut off automatically. Now we'll put our tool back on. Flip the switch over, air shuts off, tool is locked in place, and it won't go anywhere. Then we'll hit escape to get out of this program, since we're done with that. And then we can go to the axis calibration program. When you first start the machine in your location, get it all set up, you're going to want to calibrate it. The way to do that is go to axis calibration, hit enter, and it's going to show you the position as it stands right now. The dashed lines are the encoder positions, and the numbers up on top are the actual positions of the spindle and the actual position of the fence. The spindle dimension is calibrated to the table. The bottom part of the spindle is perfectly flush with the table, and that's how it's set from the factory. And that can be changed if you want to change it to some other reading for some other reason. The fence position is also set from the factory, and it's the center line of the spindle in relationship to the fence assembly. So that number is going to represent the distance from the center line of that spindle. In order to do the calibration process, we're in the axis calibration mode. We hit enter. The start light will light up, and everything's ready to go. You want to make sure the tables are clear because the fences will move forward. It'll knock off tooling, manuals, whatever you have. Here I waited too long before I hit the start button because I'm talking about this. So I have to, the process has been canceled. So I'm going to confirm that it's been canceled and hit enter. And I'll hit enter one more time. The light comes back on, and you have about 10 seconds in order to operate that. Here you see that the spindle is automatically adjusting. It's going to its home position, and it'll come back. So now the encoder is going to be set, and that's the encoder position on the machine, minus 15.300. That doesn't really mean much to you. Same thing with the fence, the encoder position. Basically what it tells you is the encoder is working, it's reading what it's doing, and it says calibration completed. Press escape to exit, and we're going to hit escape, and we're out of there. We'll go over the program writing, and I'll show you how all that works. Now let's call up some existing programs within the system. Here we're back to the original screen. We'll hit the VIS button, which is visualize, and we have our program index here. These programs are from the previous customer, and these are things that he had. If we go up or down, you'll see the ones that are highlighted. Some have titles, some don't have titles. There's a couple of empty spots, and then you have a couple more: Bob's main, shaker, end cut, whatever all that means. But if I want to call up one of those, I'm going to go to execute. And these are the settings for that particular program. The spindle needs to be set at 0.146 and 1.634. In order to execute this program, we're going to hit execute again. Enter. Our start light will come on. We again look at the table, make sure everything's clear, make sure the tooling diameter doesn't hit the fence if it starts moving, and we'll hit start, and you'll see the fence position moving forward, and then you'll see the spindle, and the fence always moves forward in case the tool diameter is rather large and it might interfere with the fence, but you also need to visually check all that. So now the spindle height went to where it needed to go. It's asking us to check the fence, make sure it's not going to hit any tooling, make sure the opening is wide enough. Once we know that's right, we're going to hit enter, enter, and then start. And now the fence is automatically positioning to the pre-written program. And shut off, and it's ready to do Bob's main, shaker, end cut, whatever that was. I hit escape to get out of the program, get back to SCM. When I want to call another program up, I'll go back to the up and down arrows. And now I want the quarter round end. I'll hit execute. It'll show me what's there. Hit enter. Start button comes on. Obviously, the tools will be changed in this particular case. Everything will readjust to where it needs to readjust again. The fence moved forward to clear the tooling. The spindle is now adjusting itself to the proper height. At this point, we would have changed the tool. It's telling me to check the fence, make sure there's no impact points. I check it. I hit enter to confirm. And now the fence is moving back into the original position that it needs to be for that preset program. So calling up programs is just that easy. To write a program, we're going to go back into the menu, Program Writing and Modification, hit enter. And what normally will come up is the next available spot in the program menu, which happens to be program 12. There's nothing there. So if I want to write a program, first thing I'm going to do is arrow over to the first empty block, which is where I can name my program. In this case, we'll just name it Stan. S-T-A-N. Let's back up. N. Okay. And then we'll put our values in. Now the way I determine what values I want to do is I'll manually do a setup. I will take a tool, I'll set the height visually with the manual positions. And remember, the key has to be in the manual mode in order for those to work manually. And then line up my profile, line up my fences, write down what those numbers are, and then I'll enter them into the program like so. With this program, I'm just going to do 4, 5, 6. For my spindle height, I will toggle over to my fence position. And with my fence position, 1, 2, 3, 4 will be the fence position I want. I'll set that as enter. And now it saved the program. I can escape. Escape again, go to my visualize the programs, and there it is. Program 12 is now Stan. If I want to run that program, I'll hit execute. 4, 5, 7, 1, 2, 3, 2 were the settings on there, and I'm good to go. If I go back to the visualization and I don't want that program anymore, all I have to do is hit cancel. It'll ask me if I want to confirm canceling that program. I'll hit enter. Now the program's gone. Position 12 is now empty. Just that easy to delete programs. You can delete everything that's in here, have your own programs, leave these in here. The capacity of this programmer is 999 programs, so there's obviously a lot more than you're ever going to need. And just that quick, just that simple.